Good morning. You're with me, Miriam Angel, Salim Barissa. I have Tyler and Wizkid coming up with Dynamite and Imagine Dragons with Thunder. And you know what? Today we're talking about matters tourism. We just spoke to Patrick, a young person who's thriving in the blue economy sector. And right now we have Mgeni Mboto Hassan. She is a board director of KICC. Mgeni, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I am good. Thank you, Miriam. How are you?
I'm good. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
When it comes to KICC, Board of Director KICC,
Yes.
break it down. What do you do?
Well, a board of director is actually an oversight, sort of giving a direction on all manner of issues, from operations to policies to budgeting and an overhaul of how an institution should be run.
Yeah.
So the whole idea or the mandate of why you need a board of directors, because institutions and parastatals are actually an act of parliament. They are put there so that they can be able to work for the people in terms of service delivery, in terms of regulations, you name it, in whatever concept. So with that, it means that the interest of the mwananchi, that is me, you, and Salim hapa, are being taken care of. That's how, the only way that you need an independent director, someone that has a bit of background in whatever that sector is.
Yeah.
And for me, it was about events and all that, and handling huge events for that matter. So that background, then they are there just so that they can be able to see, is mwananchi, wenyewe wanaita the Mwanjiku,
Yes.
sisi tutaita the Mariam, is it being represented?
Yeah.
And ama yuko na macho yake yako kwenye hizo decisions that are being made in that specific parastatal institution.
All right. How did you end up being a board director in KICC?
Well, there is the realistic version.
Yeah.
Which the realistic version is usually it's a political appointee. Let me be very specific.
Yeah.
That is where wanasema watoto wetu wa kike, we cannot shy away from politics.
Okay.
Politics is the order of the day. We want it, we don't want it. Politics dictate our lives for the next 5 years. So ni lazima, ni wajib, it is a must. In fact, it should be taught kwanzia. Vile tunakuwa kwenye zile clubs za house agriculture, tuko kwa secondary, tuko na club za 4KK club, zile kabisa journalism. Kwa nini tusikuwe na club ya politics? Young people should be nurtured in politics from the early age.
Yeah.
That is where I'm saying, because hapo ndo watu wata realize, so politics is something that I can do.
Yeah.
It can be something that I can be engaged in, so that it's as hard as we are having it hard right now. So basically that is a political appointee, and I was there because of my political mrengo wangu wa kisiasa ndo ulinifikisha pale.
Yeah.
So there's no application for that. Let me just be very honest. It's
I
a
like
realistic version, and it is the truth.
Since we're talking about tourism today, how does KICC and the tourism sector marry?
Oh yeah, KICC is actually, it's like when I say it's an act of parliament,
Yeah.
it was enacted because of a specific tourism sector which is called MICE. Sio panya.
Ndio tuelezane.
Kwa MICE. It's meetings, incentives, conferencing, exhibitions. That's what it means. Basically, there's that sector of tourism that is businessly oriented, where people, professionals from different fields, from every sector of field of work, can meet up and do the exhibitions. They can meet up and talk about whatever the policies they want, or they can meet up and have their annual conferencing on all manner of sectors, from pharmaceutical to football to sports to talent, all manner of sectors that they can be able to meet.
Yeah.
So what we do at the KCC, we are a building that can be able to host over 5,000 people, over 4,000 people in one space, that can be able to host that big number of people when they have an event, so that they can be able to come together. And that is the only space that can be. And of course, it's one of the affordable. And it is, you're giving back to Kenya because it's directly linked, and it's a Kenyan government owned. So you're giving back to the government, one or the other.
Yeah.
Yes.
So earlier on you mentioned that with KICC you do what is called business tourism. Is that when you accommodate or let people you've just mentioned it, different business stakeholders come in and then get to interact and network?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, KICC is where we host. Let me just give you an example. What we do the other day that was directly linked. See, when I came on board at KCC, I was one of the board directors. Of course, being a young person,
yes,
I looked at it and was wondering, mimi mwenyewe nimeingia pale and I'm wondering, this is one of those spaces tunaita kama nyumba ya KANU, you know, it has this perception as a very boring, tight, sort of a suit up, such a space. Ile mtu akiingia pale paka anajifikiria ni vai suit, ni vai tie, such sort of space, especially for us young people, we imagine that is the perception about it.
Yeah.
So when I was part of one of the committees, we decided that it's important for us to create revenues of all manners of sectors. So we decided to do themed events. Themed events is whereby ndo ile siku host the Arab night. Tukaleta Dija Kopa, tukaleta yule musician wa kutoka Tanzania, now musicians wa Swahili. Then we brought about people who want to see what the Swahili culture is about. Tukaleta pia watu ambao wa kutoka kuna Mombasa, all watu walitoka all areas, so that they can come and experience the Swahili night sort of a culture. So we hosted that for purpose of showing that it is not just business as usual sometimes. Sometimes you gotta break it a little bit and make it so it's a space that it can also host entertainment. And that is where one of the areas, and kitu ambacho najivunia mimi kama young person coming in that space, is being able to change that sort of thing, because young people have different ideas and different perception. So when I went in and decided this place is too stuffed up, let's spice it up a little bit.
Okay.
One squeeze it tunapaka fountains. They're called the dancing fountains. We are soon going to launch them, by the way, because it's also one of those interesting things that people can just come and watch.
With the renovation that's going on, because I know there is renovation with KICC, right? With what's happening, how would this position Nairobi again as a hub for tourism? How would this boost the tourism sector?
First and foremost, the renovations are actually done. We did renovations wakati wa African Climate Summit. You remember African Climate Summit?
Also, it's done.
Yes, we hosted over 10 head of states actually. So it was a big deal for us. It was one of those comeback sort of an event that said, we are here, KCC, and we're here to stay, and we know what our business is. So we were able to impress over 10 heads of states, which meant we are in business. And the renovation is one of those areas where the president himself, him being a transformational leader, said it is not going to be KANU house or anything. We are an international standard over conferencing, and that's why we are going to set the pace, and we are going to make sure this place looks like an international standards. And that's why we got to host the Africa Climate Summit. So the renovations are made to not just make Nairobi be a central hub, but Kenya as a whole. Because did you know that it is only Kenya in Nairobi that we actually have a park in the city? The only one in Africa. Yes. Yani wewe za toka mkutano pale na suti yako kapitia Nairobi pale ukaona wanyama at the same time. That's basically it. It means you can do both. You can be there for business and tourism at the same time.
Mimi Mboto. Nimependa maelezo yako, nimeyapenda kiujumla. Lakini unajua kadri tunavyokuwa miji inaongezeka. Na miongoni mwa miji ambayo kwamba imezeeka sana, hata si Nairobi. Mombasa imezeeka na miaka 1000 na. Alafu kuna Kisumu, juzi kati hapa ni Nakuru ile. Right? Na kuna wengine Eldoret. Kuna wengine pia wanataka sijui Kiambu nayo pia iwe. So ikiwa hii ni iko kibiashara na inaleta kipato na inachangia, mbona tumeicentralize iko Nairobi? Jana tulikuwa hapa na speaker wa bunge la county, wakazungumzia kwamba power is decentralized, resources are decentralized. Mombasa is one of cities hapa nchini. Hakuna kitu kama hicho. Wewe uko pale kama board of directors. What's happening? Ama huko si tumeachwa bahari?
One, the fact that umeanza vizuri, it's the oldest city, meaning we should be making a lot of money. And one of our biggest source of revenue should be two things. We have kitu inaitwa the blue economy, and we have the port. The blue economy is a holistic tourism sector of it. I think umetoka hapa mesema umekuwa na kijana inaitwa Patrick.
Yeah, we're talking about that,
So now we shouldn't be poor. we should be so focused. And yes, devolution came, or the whole concept is to decentralize everything. And when you told me as part of that what we have done or what we have been able to do, what I can say is katika tuna kitu inaitwa performance contracting in every institution. And once I was there, of course, being one of the independent board directors, you have to be part of it. And when we went to negotiate performance contract, you actually go and negotiate and lobby to the National Treasury, uambie sisi kama institution tunataka kufanya 1 2 3 4 5 and this is how we want to do it. So one of the things we actually lobbied as part of it, and I was part of the negotiation table, was that we need another KICC in a place like Mombasa.
But I like what you said with the fact that there's a blue economy sector and then there's the port as well.
Yes.
Why do we need another KCC when Mombasa also has its own
we need that business
resources?
Thank you.
Do you think we need that? Because Mombasa also has its untapped resources. It has
Very
other ways
true.
that it can equally grow when it comes to the tourism sector.
Wazungu wakisema there's low hanging fruits. Sometimes you don't have to struggle uende ukachukua ule mwembe ule uko pale katikati juu.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can actually pluck.
Do you think there is need to have another KICC here?
That is what we're saying.
Would
you
it
can
even
actually
make sense?
pluck. It will make sense because we are embracing. Hata kama tusiende mbali kuwa wazungu waje kwanza. Did you know domestic tourism, the people who are actually thriving in domestic tourism is Mombasa na Kwale Diani. Did you know that? And why do people come here? People come here for business conferencing. Saizi naweza kuambia hoteli hazijai kwa sababu ya wazungu, hoteli zinajaa kwa sababu parastatals na meetings zinafanywa Mombasa. So that is one of the untapped, but it doesn't have to be untapped. It just have to have regulations ambazo zina allow not just hotels, a private sector. So sasa sisi tutafute, we don't have to have a huge space KICC because that's a whole policy area that we need to do. And if we had a very good Senate amba alikuwa naona kama this is one of the areas, those are the part of policies angekuwa watu wapigania. But who am I to say? Maybe he's doing other things. But my point is we can, and we actually negotiated. Wakauliza, is there land? Kasema yes, there is land availability for this. We can try and get, hata kama it's not as big as KICC, but the whole idea is to be able to host another African Climate Summit in 2032 in Mombasa.
What will that do to the businesses, the hotels that are equally holding the conferences within the region? What will that do?
That is the most beautiful thing about having a MICE industry.
Yeah.
We don't have to, sisi hatuna hoteli, kumbuka. We are hosting events. By the end of the day, watu watalala. So the events, the hostels are still going to make money. So it won't be just one hotel. It will have a ripple effect of almost all hotels, because every cluster of hotels ina their own people. So unajua kuna watu White Sands, kuna watu wa hizo hoteli zetu za third star, second star na first class. So it will not only improve businesses, just it will have a ripple. Do you know how a dollar has a ripple effect on a city? You know the story of that dollar. Mzungu alikuja ikeka dollar in one of the villages, and then they were able to pay, kila mtu alijilipa in that $1 and he still went away with that dollar. So it means the ripple effect is not just hotels. The ripple effect is the street vending food. The ripple effect is me and you with exchange rate or ile pesa ambao ataacha hapa ndani ya Mombasa. The ripple effect is our own generated revenue through the county.
Okay, now mmeenda mmelobi, ukasema land iko.
Yes, true. We have land through the tourism sector.
Iko hiyo land. Now imefikia wapi? Huko klubu kwenu mmefika, mmeongea. So matokeo
ni mawili.
Yes.
National Treasury is telling us either sisi tuanze kutafuta pesa nusu, and then they'll put up something like that, which is because we're a commercial entity. Do you know we don't rely on National Treasury to give us money? We're a commercial entity. Commercial entity yamaanisha inatafuta pesa yenyewe. Ikitafuta pesa yenyewe, ijisimamie yenyewe. Ushaona?
Good. Yes. Now kama mnatafuta pesa wenyewe, so far hiyo ambayo mlienda kulobi ilikuwa mwaka gani?
It was in 2004 actually. It was just last year.
Last year.
Yes.
Mmepata
2024.
Yes. 2024. Mmepata shingapi alafu ndio treasury waongeze?
So we already have a budget for that, how much we need, and then what the treasury is. So we are still lobbying through different institutions.
Okay.
Yeah, tourism for that.
So itakuwa wapi?
But also there is the tourism land.
Wapi?
along inaitwa Nkrumah Road.
Nkrumah hapa
because it needs to be sort of a centered around town.
Okay.
Sort of
and it's a central place.
It needs a central place. The whole concept. Yes, there's a huge you wanna come a parking space or something like that.
Yeah.
You've seen it. Yes, it's really.
So what you're
space.
saying is this is in the pipeline.
This is in the pipelines.
Okay. We're speaking to Mgeni Mboto Hassan. She is a board of director at KICC. And of course, we're looking at tourism opportunities in relation to also domestic tourism that she has mentioned that is really, really thriving. When we get back, we'll look at the missed opportunities in tourism. Good morning. Now, Mgeni.
Yes.
When we look at Kenya, and of course, Kenya has been is one of the top tourist destinations in Africa, right? From your perspective, again, where do you see the biggest untapped opportunity in our tourism sector?
Definitely the blue economy.
Okay,
we are sitting on. Do I call a gold mine? Do I call it an oil mine? You know, because those are the things that make the world run around.
Yeah.
Is oil and gold, and we are sitting on it. Blue economy, we have not even tapped onto the tiny little fraction. I remember in 2014 actually, when I was part of the Mombasa Youth Assembly, I think unaikumbuka. One of the things we actually looked at, because that is the time when we had the highest number of unemployed youth in Mombasa. We had 47%. Not Mombasa, sorry, in Kenya. Kwa sababu gani? Because the job market and Mombasa, the fact that was turning into, we only used to rely on the port peke yake as one of the major revenue, and it doesn't have it has only 5% ripple effect on Mombasa as a county, not just for the CSR concept, but also on employment opportunities. Only because as a port, you cannot just employ watu wa Mombasa; it needs to have a regional representation. Ushaona, but then pia watu wa Mombasa tuwapewa blue collar jobs. No offense, watu wa kwetu, but you know. But then we do be given blue collar jobs. You're not given the actual work that. But apart from that, when we saw that we had a different opportunity, that young people can actually venture into the blue economy, not only did we do a policy, remember back then with Mombasa Youth Assembly, it's young people coming together, because young people have powers in numbers. You know what happened and how it. Young people have powers in numbers, and when they come together in unity, munaskizwa vizuri. It is there. Even the president is now a listening president because of young people. Walisema utatuskiza, and he actually did listen. So we did a policy on blue economy, and unfortunately by then the county did not maybe they did understand, but they did not have a policy around it. We worked with young politicians, right, wale MMCA, vijana MMCA ndani, to lobby, and so that it's something that they can actually they can look at it, how it can be able for them to come up with a bill so that they can be able to benefit what vijana directly. Okay, so I think we'll talk about it until we get to understand it. Yes,
when
definitely.
we say there is untapped opportunity in the blue economy sector for the youth, what exactly? I know we've had a young person who's talked about how he's doing he's doing beach cleanup, and he runs is involved in water sports, right? What opportunities do you think are there for the youth? Because every single time we say opportunities in the blue economy, but we don't say the opportunities that are there and how they can actually go about it.
First and foremost, we need to get our policy right. That's the most important thing. Because for me, like I said, where I thrive in is being able to look at what policy makes things work, because that's the way it is. When that works, we have regulations. And then when regulations work, it means now the systems and every other concept can be able to move. One, policy is also about if we can be able to set up institutions, especially for training institutions, that can be able to train young people on what the blue economy can be able to offer. So na kama saizi tunapeleka vijana wetu, tunapeleka watoto wetu wa kike kwenye this cruise ship, right? That is blue economy. But then besides bandari, which is a policy that was re-engineered majuzi tunajana, so that bandari can be able to accommodate now the trainings, so that weza kutrain nini vijana wetu on this blue economy sort of jobs that are currently available, because those are the only low hanging fruit ambazo zipo. So now the issue is what best we can do. We start by giving a training institute that either can be run by the county or can be done, let's say, by the county, because devolution. The whole concept of devolution is that we now look at partners who can come on board, to a cruise ship and all that. Can we do a partner 50-50? Mutengeze institution ya training hapa academy, vijana wetu kwanza wasome. Maana hatuwezi kusema kuna opportunity alafu mpatie mtu shua la kwenda kunanio ndo wasikia vijana wetu walizama wengi Kilifi. Why? Because we don't have the actual resources that are immensely need for us to fish at the and not only that, have we looked at our policy, the international waters? Are they favoring us? That is the whole concept we should do. The Senate has a lot of work to do. Waseme, is it favoring us? Ama tumepewa a lot at jurisdiction in the name of kuna watu wengine ambao wako na resources za boti za kuja kuvua katika international waters ambao it's really close to us. That's what I'm saying. So is it favoring us? Those are the kind of questions we should be asking. Those are the questions we should be analyzing and get to understand. Apo, that's when you hold your leaders accountable. Akija kusema tumefanya what have you done in the blue economy? Mimi kama kijana nataka kukua in that sector, but there is no funding that is directly linked to it, unless the one ambayo ilikuja through the national government, that is through the CS, by then ilikuwa ni Mvuria. There is no regulations ambayo imewekwa ku set up nini the academy besides bandari ambayo iko and it's using ajana. Can we do that ambayo ita incorporate watu wote na waweze kufanya, because we don't have the skills. Let's face it, hatuna. Manake mimi nisoma hapa Coast Girls mpaka form 4. Hakuna pahali ambapo kulikuwa kuna that curriculum, or after that kuna training college ambayo itaniendeleza if I want to work in the blue economy sector. So that's what I'm saying. Kwanza we need to actually put up the basic foundation. Ukitaka kuwa anything, you have to learn about it. You have to have skills, and then the opportunities are going to be there, because not only will shampa mtu skills, umempa the most wealth you can able to give. Then not only will he come with innovative ways. Kama vile institution like JKUAT, I actually went to JKUAT in Nani. It's a engineer school. Hapo, that is when the big brains of innovative M-Pesa ilipatikana na kijana mbali alifanya hiyo innovation huko. Kuna kijana ambaye amefanya innovation ya hii mambo electrical. Why? Because it's an environment ambao vijana sasa can be able to thrive with the real skills anaeka na akili yake. So even us, when we set up an academy, it means not only are we giving a lot of leeway and leverage and opportunity for young people not to learn, but also to think how best can I come up with maybe mambo ya sports sasa. There are so many sports around the blue economy. So
you're saying there should be good policies to be able to ensure that this sector thrives.
Exactly. That's the first starting point. Manaka wezi amka tu kaza kufanya kitu. Where are you grounded on? What are you anchoring on? Kenya is anchored in a constitution. Ndio maana mtu sisi tuweza kujipiga kifua kama vijana tukisema sovereignty power belongs to the people. Why? Because we are anchoring it in the constitution.
No, sawa. We are using the constitution because you are anchoring, we are the sovereignty, sawa. Now, as Mboto, director wa KICC, vijana hapa mmoja amekuwa hapa kama vile Miriam amekwambia, amekuwa hapa na mmepishana. Yeye anatoka, wewe unaingia. Ni kitu gani ambacho kwamba unaweza sema umekishikilia na ukasaidia vijana kuweza kuthrive kwenye tourism industry? Yani hapo changanya Gen Z bado vijana na youth bado ni vijana. Ni hao tu.
So like I said, tulipoingia kwenye these boardrooms and the policies were there, watu ambao walikuwa hapo, the things that I did try to have this themes event. Themed event is supposed to give opportunity for different young people to come. Manake young people are creative. They're in the creative industries. And then our CSR is also anchored on the creative industry. We give opportunity and spaces for artists to come and showcase for free. They come and showcase for free all the artistic work that they have, especially when you have major events. When you have major events ambayo there are people with good pockets, you can come and showcase for free. Yani we give you the opportunity to come and showcase all that. That's what we have done with vijana wakuje wafanyi. It's part of a CSR. You have any artistical, we are talking about crafts, we're talking about painting, we're talking about all the other creative industries. And not only that, last year when we launched in December, tulifanya the event with Churchill, which we partnered with Churchill, so that wafanye the creative industry according to the comedy and all that, so that young people can also be there. We charge watu kuingia, so that means the artist ambao perform pale, they'll actually get revenue. Not only that, we're trying to work with big DJs that are out there, so that wale wasanii pia ambao wako, they can have an opportunities to come and showcase whatever they have in the industry to an audience and actually still get paid. So that is where I can be able to come in and say we have given environment and opportunity. But then you have to actually have the talent. You actually have to go into the spaces and be there.
Okay. Let's look at domestic tourism. And I know it's been on the rise. So how can we as a country, again, Kenya, balance between promoting international visitors and encouraging local tourism? How do we merge that? How do we marry the two?
We've actually done very well.
Yeah.
One, we've been able to give between NATO incentives. Like what we do in the MICE industries, incentives, so that people can do domestic tourism. Unaona hata tofauti ni kuwa ukitaka kuingia for Jesus wewe kama Mkenya ni shilingi 200, sio?
Umepandisha sana. Nyinyi sawa ni.
Lakini kama wewe watoka nje international, the money is a bit higher for you. Because we understand you economy yetu na kwa nini we need to be able to do that. We've done that. We've done a lot of incentives all across at hotels. It's something that has been able to do up a lot of partnership with the tourism sector, so that usually to tour these wildlife spaces, and we have actually seen that there's a bit of leeway domestic tourism na wale international tourism. So being able, actually, if I can be able to hone this and be able to say, do you know that KCC goes out there to not just market KCC but to market Kenya as a destination? When we do when we go to do bidding for all international conferences, kama saizi we are all set for big international conference in 2026. We are bringing all pharmacies, the doctors. It's an industry in pharmaceutical. They'll be hosting one of their biggest annual event in KCC. So when we go to this bidding in Germany, Frankfurt, whichever the city, we actually...
So you travel across the world,
We actually... not only sell cases, we sell Kenya as a destination. Because tukifika kule tamwambia mtu wewe ukitoka pale kwenye ile event yako, there's a lot of things you can do in Nairobi. Yes, so we sell Kenya as a destination, the magical Kenya. That's what we do. So KCC is part of the people that actually sell Kenya when we go to do bidding. So it is immensely opportunities that we do. Yes.
Okay. And how do we merge tourism? Again, I asked the young person, how do you see tourism connecting other sectors like blue economy, culture, and technology?
Tremendously. Speaking of that, there are actually programs that the president said, because of the whole concept of young people, which is taking it very seriously. He said that every sector of the industry has to come up with an innovative way ambao wataweza kufanya nini kuhusisha vijana. So sisi kama KICC, we actually launched a hackathon. A hackathon is an event ambayo amesema technology.
Ndiyo,
na mimi nataka kumjibu upande huo
kiteknolojia hackathon.
Yes. Kitu teknolojia, we've been able to tell young people twajua kuwa there's AI. I mean, we all use it right now. And it's growing in a pace that we need to be part of it. So because of that, AI has been able to be integrated in so many softwares, in so many technological areas, and come up with really brilliant solutions. Right now there's virtual assistant, all that. So hackathon is able to say, what is your idea to solve the problems that we are locally having? Kama hapa Mombasa, what is your idea or the technological idea that can be able to use AI to solve our garbage issue? Mombasa chafu bana. What is your idea as a young person to solve the issue your blue economy through the app? What is your idea? So we are offering space for young people with brilliant minds on technology issues to come together and say, this is my idea. The idea on solving issue ya plumbers, wale ambao wako na inaitwa nini skills zile ndogo zile
skills za mkono chap.
What is your idea? Uber ilikuja to link up nini, si kwa tu hakuna taxi zamani, but the app ilikuja fanya nini, ilijudishe kwa mimi kama driver wa Uber kuwa kuna mtu kama Salim yataka this work. So what is your idea around that? Is there an app that has been created that can offer that? Ukitaka plumber, you just go hapo mara moja kwenye app yako,
unampata plumber
barista hapo, unampata carpenter, whatever it is that you need fixing or electrical in your in your house. So that is the platform we are offering to use technology. We're giving you a platform. Come tell us this is what you're able to do. And then we'll give you rewards and we link you up to the institution that can be able to not just make sure your app yako imekuwa utilized, but you've also gotten royalties and all that and through your app. So there's a lot of opportunities. That is just one sector ambayo nimesema, but the president made it so easy kuwa every sector in this country that is working has to be able to incorporate young people through all their programs.
I like that. Yes. Thank you so much, Mgeni Mboto. We have had a fruitful day. We've been speaking to Mgeni Mboto Hassan. She's a board of directors of KICC. And you know what? From us on the Breakfast Club, by the way, I was about to wrap up, but I see we still have some time. We're going to take a break and then we'll be right back, okay? All right. In the meantime, thank you for making time, Mgeni.
Thank you. Asante sana.